Welcome to Adu Globe. Discover new ideas, learn exciting things, and be amazed every day. Imagine this: a silent night sky suddenly lit up by decoys that look like real fighter jets. Could this be Ukraine's boldest move yet to trick Russia's most advanced air defenses? What you are about to see may change the way we understand modern warfare forever. For months, the skies have been dominated by expensive missiles and deadly interceptions. But now, a mysterious system has entered the scene: small, cheap, and incredibly smart. Is this the hidden weapon that could rewrite the future of air battles? Stay tuned, because the truth is more shocking than you can imagine. To understand why this new weapon matters, we need to look at the bigger picture. For years, air defense has been Russia's strongest shield. Systems like the S-300 and S-400 are designed to detect and destroy anything flying in their airspace. But these systems are expensive, and every missile they launch costs millions. Now imagine, what if you could trick those defenses into wasting their missiles on fake targets? That is exactly what these mauled decoys do. They fly, they reflect radar like real jets, and they force the enemy to waste precious resources chasing ghosts in the sky. The Ukrainian skies tell a story of resilience. At the heart of this story are the legendary Su-27 fighter jets, fast, powerful, and once considered unmatched in aerial combat. These jets became Ukraine's frontline guardians, soaring above a battlefield where danger lurked in every direction. But the war changed everything. From the very first days, Ukraine's air force faced a terrifying challenge: Russia's S-300 and S-400 missile defense systems. These weren't ordinary defenses. They formed an invisible shield capable of locking onto jets from hundreds of kilometers away, and firing missiles faster than a heartbeat. For every Ukrainian pilot, each mission was like stepping into the jaws of a trap. The problem didn't stop there. Every Ukrainian long-range missile was precious, supplied in limited numbers by Western allies. Each shot cost millions, and the stockpile was never enough. Meanwhile, Russian forces launched wave after wave of attacks, almost without pause. For Ukraine, firing back was a question of survival, but also of balance. Every missile launched was one less for tomorrow's defense. This imbalance forced Ukraine to think differently. If missiles were gold dust, then strategy had to be the weapon. Engineers, military minds, and pilots came together with one goal: find a way to outsmart the shield. They realized that survival would not come from power alone, it would come from innovation. And this marked the beginning of a new chapter in modern warfare, using deception and creativity against one of the world's strongest air defense networks. In the hidden labs of the United States, during the late 1990s, engineers faced a powerful question: how do you defeat an enemy that spends billions building walls in the sky? Their answer was not brute force, but deception. From this idea was born the Admiral 160 mauled, miniature air-launched decoy. It looked nothing like a weapon of destruction. Instead, it resembled a small, sleek drone, lightweight, and almost fragile. But its true power lay in the invisible world of radar. On an enemy screen, a single mauled appeared not as a harmless decoy, but as a fighter jet. The brilliance of mauled lies in its simplicity. Once launched, it flies autonomously, mimicking the radar signature of advanced aircraft. To the enemy's defenses, it looks real, it feels real, and it forces them to react. Suddenly, powerful missile systems worth millions are being wasted on nothing but shadows. Every time a mauled flies, it becomes a phantom in the sky, a ghost designed to drain the enemy's strength. But deception comes at a price, and this time, it's a clever one. A mauled costs around a few $100,000, compared to the millions required for a single cruise missile or the billions poured into air defense networks. For Ukraine, struggling with limited resources, this price difference could mean survival. By forcing Russia to launch expensive missiles against cheap decoys, mauled turns the battlefield into a game of economic warfare. The true purpose of mauled is not destruction, it is confusion. Its mission is to make the enemy doubt their own eyes, to make them question every radar blip, and to force hesitation at the very moment it matters most. In modern warfare, hesitation can be as deadly as a missile. For every mauled in the air, there is a fighter jet somewhere safer, a missile that hits nothing, and a defense system slowly being drained of life. The world held its breath when, for the first time, the Ukrainian Air Force officially confirmed the use of MALD in combat. A short but powerful video surfaced online. A Ukrainian pilot's voice could be heard. "Today, I launched the Admiral 160. His words echoed like a signal that something had changed forever on the battlefield. For decades, Ukraine had relied on courage and improvisation. But now, with MALD mounted under the mighty Su-27 fighter jet, deception had joined the fight. On the runway, the sleek decoy looked almost fragile, yet once in the air, it became a weapon of confusion, a ghost that no radar could easily ignore. Mounting MALD on the Su-27 was no small task. Engineers had to adapt Soviet-era hardpoints to carry an American-designed decoy. It was a fusion of East and West, of past and present. The result? A Cold War-era jet reborn with a new role, not just to fight, but to trick, confuse, and outsmart. When the first reports came in from the battlefield, they told a story of radar screens lighting up with phantom aircraft. Russian operators scrambled, believing an air raid was underway. Missile after missile was fired, interceptors rushed into the skies, but the targets they chased were nothing but illusions. The effect on Russia's defenses was immediate. Systems worth hundreds of millions were forced into action against targets that didn't exist. Every interceptor missile launched meant fewer weapons available for real Ukrainian aircraft. Every false alarm meant less trust in their own radar. In modern war, hesitation is deadly, and MALD's true power was to create that hesitation again and again. Ukrainian pilots described it simply: "It feels like we are flying with shadows beside us. Shadows that drew fire. Shadows that gave cover. Shadows that made the impossible possible." For the first time in this conflict, deception itself became a weapon. The Su-27, once seen as a relic of a past era, now carried a future weapon, one that didn't destroy cities but destroyed certainty. And in war, certainty can be as precious as life itself. When MALD entered the skies over Ukraine, something fundamental shifted. Suddenly, operations that were once impossible became achievable. The door opened for Storm Shadow, Scalp, and ATACMS missiles to strike deeper, faster, and with greater success. Why? Because MALD created a storm of confusion before the real storm even arrived. Imagine dozens of phantom aircraft filling radar screens, while in the shadows of that chaos, real missiles slipped through undetected. For Ukrainian planners, it was like adding an invisible army, one that cost a fraction of a real weapon, but multiplied the effectiveness of every strike. For Russia's defenses, the nightmare was real. Every radar ping could be truth, or a trick. Every launch command risked wasting another multi-million-dollar interceptor. And every wasted missile meant fewer left to stop the real threats. Reports began to show a clear pattern. More interceptors fired, but fewer actual kills. Defense systems strained under the pressure. Operators forced to make split-second decisions in a fog of uncertainty. This wasn't just about saving missiles. It was about time. With defenses distracted and overloaded, Ukrainian strikes had longer windows to hit critical targets. Ammunition depots, command centers, and infrastructure suddenly became vulnerable in ways they hadn't been before. Every successful MALD launch meant not just protection for pilots, but leverage for the entire war strategy. Ukraine could stretch Russia's defenses thin, forcing them to spend more while gaining less. And this is where the game truly changes. By combining deception with precision strikes, Ukraine created a two-layered battlefield, one seen, one unseen. Russia had to fight both at once, the ghosts in the sky, and the missiles that followed behind. In war, pressure can break steel. And as Russian defenses strained under constant deception, the balance tilted. It wasn't just about destroying targets, it was about destroying certainty, one radar screen at a time. MALD didn't just give Ukraine a new tool, it gave them time, space, and opportunity. And in war, those are the true game changers. With MALD now in Ukrainian hands, many are asking, could this be the moment that shifts the balance of air warfare? For the first time, Russia's layered air defense is not only threatened by firepower, but by deception at scale. This is not just another tool, it's a signal that the skies may never be the same again. What comes next? Analysts believe Ukraine could soon integrate more advanced Western technology, stealth drones, AI-guided precision weapons, or even next-generation long-range systems. If these combine with mold, the skies will become a place where raw power is no longer enough. Survival will depend on adaptability and innovation. But every move creates a counter-move. Russia may respond by strengthening its radars, deploying more interceptors, or even creating counter-decoy systems. Yet, every upgrade demands resources, and every delay could cost lives. The war is no longer just about missiles in the air, it is a chess game of technology and deception. So, is mold just a clever trick, or the beginning of a new era in modern warfare? The future may show us battles where drones, decoys, and AI fight side by side with pilots. And in that future, the side that learns faster may be the side that survives longer. As we close this chapter, let's look back at what we've uncovered. Ukraine's new use of mold is not just about adding another missile to its arsenal, it's about rewriting the rules of the battlefield sky. For decades, air defense relied on spotting, blocking, and striking. But now, deception has become a weapon in itself. The line between what is real and what is fake has blurred like never before. And so, the story ends with a chilling truth. Russia's skies are now more dangerous than ever, because telling apart the real from the fake is no longer easy. This single line may define the next phase of this war, a future where illusions hit as hard as bombs, and every shadow in the sky could be a threat. But now, it's over to you. What do you think? Will mold truly change the direction of this war, or will it be remembered as just one clever trick in a long list of strategies? Your opinion matters, and your voice shapes this discussion.